Let me start it on Instagram. Okay. All right. So let me send it on Twitter.
Okay.
Getting the word out, huh?
Yeah, little by little.
Right. So okay. So I put it on Twitter. Hopefully we'll get some people.
So, how's your week been going?
Good. Other than just being busy, good. I can't really complain, Lee.
Good.
Yeah. Getting some work. Um, I could be working right now actually to finish that up, but I'll pick it up in the morning.
Your devotion only goes so far. So, did you guys go house hunting today, or you going tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going tomorrow. Hopefully, yeah, things are brutal out there.
Yeah, it'd be a good time to be selling. That's
Yeah. Someone on Instagram keeps saying that they want to talk about virtual machines.
hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
It's a
if
boring
you
topic, but okay.
if they come over to YouTube, we'll talk about them,
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
huh?
That's interesting. I wonder what you want to talk about virtual machines. I guess different ways you can set them up.
Yep, like Citrix or VMware or things like that.
Yeah. God knows we've got a little bit of experience with using them.
Yeah, not always happy experiences.
No, very often not happy experiences.
Yeah, I get a little bit of an echo because I have my iPad here and I'm playing the video.
Ah, okay.
It's, well, yeah. So we got two. There you go.
Hey, all right. Welcome. Well, I almost got the demo pack working today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got the software part of it working. I gotta fire up the 3D printer tomorrow and create a stand for the depth camera that's going to be on it.
Nice.
Yeah, and hook up the pan and tilt servos. It
Wow. You
should be a
should.
pretty nice little thing.
Yeah, you should send me some pictures and maybe I can put them on on Instagram.
Yeah, I definitely will after I get it all hooked up with the camera on it and everything.
Nice.
I'm figuring I can take it and the laptop computer and a couple beer bottles, and
Nice.
I'm ready to demo things.
Nice.
I'll be one
Yeah.
of the
So
few people that brings beer bottles to a product demo, probably.
someone's asking me how many side hustles do you have? Like, well, just my YouTube channel and Robby. That's it. No,
And that's
no,
plenty.
more than plenty. Yeah,
You don't get to have any more.
yeah. Not a lot of free time left after that.
Robby gets all the time.
I made some changes to the site. I don't know if you noticed.
I saw some commits come through on Bitbucket, but I hadn't gotten
Yeah.
out there and looked yet.
So I spent some time on that. I try to set up the CI/CD from Bitbucket into DevOps, and it wasn't happy. For some reason, I'm not able to connect to the repos from DevOps. So yeah, I just left that alone. But at some point, I'm gonna have to figure that out, just so just so we're able to deploy by just committing code.
Right, right. Is that Azure DevOps you're talking about, or?
Azure DevOps, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Oh, I hate that thing.
You do?
Well, only because I don't know it. I haven't dug into it enough to really understand how the pipelines go exactly and what the language for the pipelines is, and so it made it a pain in the butt for me when we were at work.
It's really, I think it's really powerful once you get past that. The YAML thing is it's I mean, you have to have experience. I'm not a DevOps guy, but once you get it set up, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I could tell that, and when we were using it there with Novo,
Mhm.
I could I could go in and edit things, and it was fine, and I could do it. I could see enough of what was going on to say, oh yeah, okay, I can do this and that. But anytime there's something that's complicated at all, and I don't know how to do it, there's this insecurity about, oh crap, I got to find somebody who can tell me how to do this for the first half hour until I get it, and then okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
But you have to have that thing that makes you go do it to be able to get it.
Yeah. So I've been doing some training on Kubernetes, and yeah, it's mind blowing, the kind of stuff that you can do with that league.
I barely even know what Kubernetes does. I started playing with Docker, and I think I'm going to be doing some Docker connectors in Robby here soon. I've got a couple in mind. particularly for the Azure Vision stuff, to
Mhm.
be able to do Onyx downloaded models, vision models. So I
Yeah.
started, I downloaded Docker and I started messing with it, and it was like, oh boy, that's really complicated. But I'll get it.
Yeah.
You just
I
got to
just
dig
want
into
to,
those things.
yeah, yeah, so Docker, yeah, if you spend some time, you'll get it, and then it's just so seamless the way that you can hook it up to Azure or AWS.
Boy, I get the power of it. I
Yeah,
really, I'm understanding it well enough to really want it now
yeah,
and to understand the coolness of it.
yeah. I think, and just Kubernetes is like I guess like the orchestration of it.
So
So,
what does that even mean exactly? This is good.
so
You can
well,
train me a little bit here.
so you've been in situations where we gotta spin up multiple instances of a certain API or a certain application, and the way that we've been doing it is that we use Azure to just deploy within the same app service or app subscription. They spin up
Mm-hmm.
another instance. Well, with Kubernetes, it's slightly different. You get sort of like a bucket of like a subscription, and everything it's deployed by code. Um, so you don't have
Okay.
to. So it's kind of like you already have the images for your Docker.
Mm-hmm.
So your application is already containerized, and when you want to spin up another instance, it just copies that image and creates another instance of it within what they call clusters. So you have a cluster, and inside the clusters you have pods, and then a pod could be like an application, an API. And it's geared a lot towards microservices, but you can make it work for other architectures as well.
So is the
Um,
idea so the microservice thing kind of makes sense of it, I guess. So the idea is that I have this whole slew of microservices out there, and I can go and update them all simultaneously or in one command with Kubernetes. That's that's what we're, and each of
yeah,
them is their own Docker package. So it's like a giant batch file for Docker. Is that what we're talking about?
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And
That's what
they
I
and they
thought, but
use
I wasn't sure.
and they use the same syntax. They use YAML for writing all that stuff out, and then
Okay.
they still have the idea that we've used before, like secrets and like variable libraries that you have that are kind of kept away from developers, and only certain people have access to them. So
Right,
that
right.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been thinking about building a Docker installer for Robby. It's
Okay.
not an installer anymore; it's Docker then, but it's an image. But yeah, especially once we dig farther into these services, when we're getting into AWS and Azure, I can imagine it being really, really handy to just be able to wrap all that stuff up into an image and
Yeah.
call it a day.
Yeah, I think for what we're doing with Robbie, that would be very helpful. I think just CI/CD in general would be a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
But at least we don't have to worry about like a mission critical app that needs to be up 24/7 with like 4 nines, right?
Yeah. Oh, that 4 nines thing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you my 4 nines, or it was 6 nines. It was Six Sigma was when I worked for Intuit. And there was
Uh-huh.
this guy, Steve Bennett was the CEO, who was this guy who'd come out of GE. He was one of Jack Welch's golden haired boys. And Steve Bennett was kind of a piece of work. So he took over Intuit, and he decided he was going to make all of the software development Six Sigma. So that meant you could have a bug, you had to be not bug free 9.59, you had to be bug free on your code.
Wow.
The coders are, oh, okay, that's nice. Haven't seen that happen before, but okay, Steve,
That's a
we'll
good
take your
long-term
word
goal.
for it. Yeah, that's a great goal to go for. I hope you don't hold your breath till we get there.
Oh yeah.
Wait, for
We
some
got
reason my light went crazy here. There we go. That's a little better.
we got some people asking about wanting to talk about game software. I have no idea.
Yeah, the only thing I know about it is Unity. I guess is the Microsoft platform for it
Mhm.
for ActiveX or not. What am I trying to say? DirectX,
Yeah.
ActiveX. Yeah, that's
ActiveX is a little bit
a
farther
little
back.
different. Yeah, a little back on the Wayback Machine. There. Show my age here. I've played with Unity a tiny bit when I was for trying to get into Ross.
Okay.
There's a thing you can do where you can set up robot simulators using Unity.
Oh.
And it was really complicated. I wanted to go, I thought, oh, far out, I'll go do a robot simulator here. It was really complicated. I didn't want to spend 2 weeks learning how to do it.
Well, I heard that Unity is going to be a big player now in Web 3.0.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
who knows?
Yeah, I might have
I,
to break down and go learn it.
I'm not a market expert, so
Yeah. I don't think there's such a thing these days. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen in this market.
yeah. Moving things
Something
around.
broken?
No, I'm moving my phone right next to the camera, so that way
Okay.
it doesn't look like I'm looking to the side too much.
Side eye.
Yeah. Yeah, I got asked a good question today. My wife says, like, well, why don't you stream from that computer instead of your laptop? That's a really good question.
Don't you hate it when someone makes sense like that? And, I don't know.
Well, I have this thing here, which is driving everything. So that I think this is the reason why. I hope I don't mess up the screen, but this here is driving everything. So my phone, the microphone I have in front of me is connected to this, and this is also connected to the computer. So this is pretty much the reason why I think.
What is
But
it?
it's I guess an audio interface.
Oh, okay.
Um, so you connect it via USB to your computer, and then you can connect microphones with XLR connection. So just any
Okay.
yeah, so it kind of makes the signal go through USB to your computer, and then I'm also able to plug in my phone. And so if I were to bring in, just like we've done the streams before, I've used the same thing here, and I'm able to hear you, and you're able to hear me, but it's all going through this device here.
I get it.
Yeah, and I'm
And
able to use the microphone.
I was going to say, and it makes it so you can use your very cool looking mic there.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah. You look like you're on the radio or something.
I know. And then I have the headphones to go with it too. So
Yeah, I don't know. I feel a little left out with my boom mic. Oh well. When Robby makes us rich, then
yeah, then you can get
we'll both have microphones then.
on Instagram. We have people from the other side of the world they're saying good morning, good day.
All right.
Yeah, so we're international now.
All right.
At least on
Yay.
Instagram we are.
Anybody from France?
Anyone from
Say hello to
France?
my friends in France.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. They're gonna start letting us know right now.
Yeah, probably. Anybody around Blois? I got friends there.
someone from Algeria,
Wow. That used to be French.
from Turkey.
Nice. We can say we're multinational now.
Yep.
Robot Dreams goes multinational.
Ethiopia.
Wow. All right. I love the internet.
Yeah, all you guys got to do is just come over to YouTube now.
That's right. Sign up for the channel. If we could offer a green card, they would.
Yes. That is one of the things I do get asked a lot. It's, how can someone work, for a US company, from
Yeah.
abroad? And it's tough because of, all the regulations and all that.
Yeah.
What I always say is that, well, I don't know exactly how that works, but I know that company, if they create a company outside of the US, they can get contracts, right? They can get
Yes.
contracted by US companies. I don't know exactly what they need to do to be able to do that, but
Yeah, I don't know
yeah.
what the rules are for that. I think there's some limitations for what you can do,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. I don't know how it works. But at least you can do that without getting the green card.
Yeah, I mean, we run in, or we've done it before working with companies offshore, so
Sure.
we
Yeah.
know it's
Everybody
possible.
has. Everybody that's been in the software business any length of time has worked almost
Yeah.
certainly with some company in India at some point.
Yep. So it is possible. We just need to, I think, well, I don't know, right? They'll probably need some capital to start something like that, but it's definitely
Yeah,
possible.
I think you kind of almost need connections too. I think, and particularly in India, I know I've had some Indian friends that tried to get that going. They come over here on H-1Bs and decide to go back and set up a consulting company over there and try to use their connections here to get work for their consulting companies.
Mm-hmm.
I've known one or two that had a little bit of success with it, but it's a crowded field.
Yeah.
It's not like there's nobody thought of that.
Yeah, and I think a couple of years ago, Freelancer and Upwork, they weren't too strict about that, so you could work for companies in the US through those platforms.
Oh, interesting.
But they I think now they're checking things, and so what's been happening on LinkedIn, I get a lot of people asking me like, hey, do you want to work with me? I'll do the work, and you're kind of like the face to it because you're there in the US. You can, it's like, well, no, because
Yeah.
like,
I
I'll
don't
give
really
you,
want to be in
yeah.
jail.
Yeah, they're like, I'll give you a percentage of whatever I make. I was like, well, no, but I still have to pay taxes of whatever you said you made.
And we
It's
have to
like,
tell
no.
them where we got that money that we're paying the tax
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So no, I had to pass a few times. And I don't have the time. Like, even if for some crazy reason I wanted to do it, it's like there's just too many things going on.
Man, it's so hard to make that work successfully. I mean, even when everything's above board and kosher, it's really hard to make that work. And you and I both know what it's like to do those offshore teams.
Yeah, yeah. I think the biggest challenge is the time.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
time
yeah.
difference.
Especially with India, where it's like you're trying to keep track. So it's like tomorrow morning there, or what is it? I can't.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing that used to happen was when there was scheduled meetings while we were sleeping, and then
Yeah.
the first thing in the morning they expected us to be there. It's like, well, I didn't check my email while I was sleeping.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed that 3 o'clock email again. Damn.
Yeah, yeah,
When we were doing that big Azure project with the Indian company, those poor guys, I think some of them stayed up 2 or 3 days a couple of times
yeah.
when we were right in the crunch there. I was glad it was them and not me. I'm too old for that stuff. But you get on in the morning and Oh yeah, yeah. I've been on all night.
Someone is asking if the live stream is on YouTube, and I guess I didn't explain it on the comment that I left and I pinned. So I'm going to write another comment here. Well, I've been telling them that the link to the live stream is on my bio. Maybe I should check if it's actually there.
Well, it could be a good idea. It's an arguable position, at least.
Oh, good thing I have a backup phone.
Your phone died?
No, I said a good thing I have a backup phone because that one's streaming. I can't pause it. So
Oh, now
So I'm
mine's
gonna
ringing in the background here. Robocall.
you get those too, Lee?
Oh man. This phone number, my dad had this house before me. So this house has had the same phone number for 45 years now.
Wow.
And they know old people live here. So I'll bet I average 10 robocalls a day.
Oh, wow.
Every once in a while, if I'm bored, I'll engage them, especially when it's the ones that are like the Social Security Administration and I'm going to jail. I love to mess with those people. How do you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning? Do you realize the people that fall for this are old, vulnerable people? How would you like it if this was your parents this was happening to?
Oh yeah, I get some of those too. Say, hey, your student loan is late. You're gonna get in trouble. What student loan? I didn't go to school.
I kept one guy on the phone for 45 minutes. It was an Indian guy. And by the end of it, I just been beating him down. How can you do this? You're dishonoring yourself, And finally, by the end of it, he's like, yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's the only job I can get. I felt really bad for him then.
Yeah. Okay, so I double checked. The link is there.
Oh, good.
They just got to go to my profile and click on it, and they'll bring him here.
Yeah. We want people on that YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I started working on breaking up that video for the first tutorial video for Robby.
Okay.
I'm going to start embedding the videos into the help system too. So it should be kind of cool. As I was going through the video, I realized how rambling I got in it. It's like, nobody wants to hear that. They want to know how to use the software. They don't care what you think.
Yeah, sometimes it's yeah, like even me with the videos that I make, like I record for an hour and I end up with a 10-minute video.
Yeah. And going through and being, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Come on. Get rid of that. Can't thank God for Camtasia.
All right, we got 36 people on Instagram.
Wow.
I wish some of them would come over.
It's too bad we're not more interesting. We've got to come up with more interesting things to say if that many people are going to come watch us.
I think, you know, I think it would help because once they're, you know, once they join here on YouTube, they're able to ask questions and kind of,
Yeah, yeah, and as we get through this kind of launch process that we're in the middle of now, then we'll have more time to settle in and get a fixed format going and actually show Robby and do stuff with Robby on this.
yeah.
I think that's where we need to get to.
Yeah, so for those of you who are on Instagram, if you check out the link in my profile, you can join the stream on YouTube. I see someone who just joined from Brazil. Hey, thank you for
All
joining.
right. I wonder if that's that same guy from Brazil. What was his name? I can't remember now.
I
Bismarck.
forget. Yeah. Well, this is Rodrigo here. Rodrigo 16.
Hey, Rodrigo.
Someone from Colombia.
So that was pretty interesting response we got to the pitch deck today.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, she didn't say anything bad about it, at least. Said it was helpful, which it's not real feedback, but it's not, I couldn't tell anything from this. This is stupid.
Yeah, so it's gonna be exciting. So
Yeah.
we're supposed to pick a time, right? And
I haven't got the email yet. I'm assuming we're going to get one of those things where they give you a bunch of choices of times.
yeah. So we still don't know if we need to go there or if we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
remotely?
no, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'd rather it was live. I'd rather it was face to face, but we'll see. We'll do whatever they say. Be nice to have an excuse to drive up to San Francisco too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. I've been to the airport a few times, but not really to visit the city.
Yeah, the last couple times I've gone up there, I hated it.
Oh yeah,
it's just so crowded.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Bay Area and I loved the Bay Area. Man, it used to be when I get up to the bridges in the Bay Area and see Mount Tamalpais over there and San Francisco and the Golden Gate, it was like, I'm home. All right. And it's just not like that anymore. No, it's, oh my God, what's with all these cars? I've turned into a country boy, I guess.
Yeah. And, I don't know, like I haven't been there since the pandemic. Like at least it's been 2 years. Like I said, I've been to the airport, pretty much drop someone off or pick someone up, but I haven't really gone into the city since the pandemic. So I don't know if the traffic has gotten any better.
No, it's worse.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's worse.
Wow.
At least that's been my experience mostly I go up to the North Bay if I go up there. But like when I went to Europe, I had to go up there and it's just, it's terrible. You can't drive anywhere. Anywhere you drive, it's like wait, stop and wait.
Yeah. That's not fun.
Yeah, I grew up there and loved it. Oh boy, I was a Grateful Dead head and all of that, and that was the mecca for Grateful Dead, and it was great. But oh well, guess you really can never go home again.
Yeah. So now you live in a different city or town.
Yeah, or not in a town. I live 40 miles from town. That's what I always say, 40 miles to the nearest Safeway. But it's nice.
I'm sure it's quiet.
It's quiet and easy, and yeah, I like living in the country now that I've done it. I get on a freeway 2 or 3 times a year, and that's about it.
That's good. Well, we might be doing it more often now that.
Yeah, yeah, but I'd be okay with that. I would deal with it.
Oh, we have someone else in the. We have 2 people watching the stream. Nice. One
All
person
right,
besides me.
all right. Going, what is this? Why am I watching this?
Hey, I see Julian Velez. He's usually a regular on the live stream. So hey, Julian, thanks for joining. At least on Instagram.
It's
He
too bad
is.
they can't answer us back. Of course, then we'd never be able to say anything because everybody else would be talking, I guess. But
Yeah, it's well, I don't know if you heard, Lee, of that thing, that app called Clubhouse. Have you heard of that?
no.
So so imagine like if you're like sort of like at a conference and you have a panel, but it's all audio. So you show up and you have speakers and they have a conversation, and then you raise your hand if you want to be called on, and then they'll give you a chance to ask your question, but it's all audio.
Oh, one
So
of those kind of things, right?
yeah. And then Twitter tried to do it too. I think they called it rooms, where you go in there, you host a room, and then yeah, and then people ask questions, and then you give them a chance to get the mic, and then they ask the question. You bring them up to the I guess the stage, and then once they're done
Right.
asking, let them go back to the to the
Yeah,
audience.
Zoom has a thing like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, in Zoom
raising
you
your
can
hand.
raise your hand and then they can turn you on so you can talk.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, go to
Yeah.
YouTube. Yay.
Nice. Hey, we got someone else.
Hey, look at that. How far a developer needs to know DevOps. I seem to have gotten by without it.
Yeah. And again, just a plug here for those of you on Instagram. We are on YouTube as well. The link, it's in the profile. So if you want to join us over here, we have people asking questions here. Um, hey, there's Bismarck. You were just asking about him.
Hey, a regular.
Yeah. Yeah. So to answer that question about DevOps, I think that little by little, and I don't know if you agree with this, Lee, that little by little, the DevOps role is sort of falling into developers. Like I found myself where I make a code change and it requires me to do a change in one of the pipelines, and I'm committing code, related to pipelines. And I think that's going to be more and more the case where, you know, developers are going to be acquainted or familiar with DevOps.
I think that's true too. I don't think you'll be able to escape it. I think there'll always be, especially in any kind of a larger team, there'll be a DevOps person who's kind of in charge for orchestrating it all and managing all of it. But I think you're right. I certainly, when we were doing that Azure project, it wasn't very long before I was in there changing pipelines, even though I didn't know anything about them. Just okay, yeah, got to go make it so it'll actually freaking build.
I like Bismarck. He asks really good questions.
Can we explain what is Robby? I love to explain what is Robby. So Robby is a software framework for, they call the sector robotics middleware. The idea is that you have a computer that's running an application. Most often it's under Unix. Robby actually is under Windows, one of the things about it. And it's a program that sits in the middle and communicates out with all the devices attached to the robot, or if it's an IoT group or whatever it is you're building. So what Robby does is it abstracts away all of the coding and all of the work other than configuration for talking to devices, so that when you write that program in the middle, it's all you have to write is that program in the middle that's communicating out with the devices using Robby as a framework. And in Robby, you actually build, we call them networks. Networks are made up of channels, and channels talk to devices and services or whatever you need to talk to. And all of that stuff where you're building the network in Robby is actually done with a really simple user interface. So you draw, it's basically drag and drop to build up your network that's going to go out and connect to the devices and stuff on the robot. And then you write a simple C# program in the middle that responds to events off the robot, basically. But it takes away all of the coding for talking to the devices. And there's other products out there that do very similar things. The big one is called ROS that we've talked about on here before, Robot Operating System. What kind of problem would this be a solution for? This is a solution for anybody who wants to build robots. Although I wouldn't really recommend trying to build an autonomous car using Robby yet. But, if you're just building particularly hobby level robots, any of that, it's going to be great for, I think. And honestly, in my heart of hearts, I think it could do the autonomous car just fine, but I think we need to do some proving before I'd really recommend trying to do that. I think we need to get some projects under our belt more than the ones we have. But the problem it's a solution for, if you've ever tried to use any of the other products that are out there for doing this, like ROS, they're really oriented towards people with a lot of education and experience. Yeah, you need to understand C++, you need to understand Unix, you need to understand very technical programming. And Robby's not like that. Robby's, you need to understand C# and how to respond to events. And that's about it.
Yep.
So our goal is to change robotics. So we say change robotics from being a scientific endeavor into a creative pursuit. So that creative people can build robots. Now, it doesn't have to be limited to guys with advanced degrees from MIT anymore.
Trying to make it easier, trying to make it for mostly everyone who knows how to code and wants to get into robotics.
If you got just a basic knowledge of C#, you're going to do just fine here. And then it becomes a matter of deciding what you're going to make it to do. And when I talk about it, I've got using Robby, I'm doing object detection with custom vision. I'm doing LiDAR. I can do pretty much anything you do on those things, all simultaneously. Sensor fusion is a big thing for any product like this, which means that you can be reading multiple sensors simultaneously and proving that you're reading multiple sensors simultaneously and that they're not bumping into each other. And Robby does that real well and makes proving it really easy. I hope that answered your question, Bismarck.
Yeah.
You deserve a good answer since this is your second time here. Yay! A return customer.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm asking people to subscribe, so that way they're notified next time we go live.
Yeah.
And so I guess just so we let people know, so the next time we are going live on this channel will be Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, California time. So if you guys are available at that time, make sure you're subscribed so you're notified.
And I think I'll be able to at least somehow show the demo pack on Saturday. We could shoot for that. Yeah. We could do a screen share, and maybe I can use the depth camera, and we can kind of show it at least.
That would be awesome.
It's hard to do the robot when it's just me here. You know about that.
Yeah.
'Cause you're trying to follow the robot around with the camera and talk and do the computer at the same time and actually operate the robot. So it gets tricky.
Yeah, so that's, I guess, the next thing that we plan on doing. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys were here when Lee mentioned that I'm trying to buy a house, and uh, trying to do that here in California right now is it's crazy. So I'm not able to go up to meet up with Lee during the weekend, but as soon as I'm able to, we'll go ahead and do that and share with you, what we have.
Yeah, we can get Antwerp to start insulting us and doing her thing.
Yeah.
Antwerp is our robot.
We have another question from Bismarck.
Okay.
Well, I'll take a stab at it. Is Web 3.0 the future? Yes, I think whether we like it or not, whether we're ready for it or not, I think it is. Do we need to invest time to learn it? I think it would be a good idea. I don't know exactly yet what there is to learn, but
Yeah, it's at that
yeah,
stage of, well, what do I learn? It hasn't really shaken out yet to know
yeah.
how it's going to take over.
I think that the biggest proponent out there, I don't know if you know about this guy, Lee, Gary V. He's been going at it for like a year and a half, talking about NFTs, and you got to get out there and start making your NFTs. And now it's like, oh, people are listening. There was a guy that sold an NFT for, I think, $67 million or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah. It
So
was
it's
that
like,
piece
okay,
of
people,
art.
yeah. So people are listening now. It's like,
Yeah, but I'm glad I'm not the guy that spent $67 million on that. If tomorrow something comes out that breaks NFT and doesn't work, it's
yeah.
okay. Sorry, that's worthless now.
There is also, I can't think of the website. So if anybody of you on the live remember what the name of this website is, there is a place, a site where you can sort of buy real estate on the web, on like the 3.0 web.
Oh Lord,
Imagine buying
that's
buying
like Second Life did that, or
like
that's
a,
how Second
a
Life worked.
like a virtual lot. You go buy
Yeah.
it, and eventually that's sort of like real estate, and somebody else might come and buy it for higher price. It's crazy.
Did you ever get into Second Life?
No, I did not.
It was the first of the big massively multiplayer things out there. It was like a virtual world.
Uh-huh.
And you bought real estate. You go buy lots and build things on them. I guess I read somewhere, I think it's turned into this sexual thing now. And now it's this adult thing because they've made it so you can have your avatars do nasty things.
Wow.
Which, okay, that's weird, but okay. I guess they're still
Wow.
making a living and they've been around a long time.
Wow. We got another question here.
Okay. Main stack. I am sorry to say for everybody, it's very boring. I'm a Microsoft person. Mostly I've been doing SQL Server, Azure, C Sharp, .NET, various flavors. I do some JavaScript at least, Angular, and have done some React. And you're still Microsoft stack too, right, Francisco?
Yep.
Except for you're
Yep.
doing Angular on the front, was it? Or
We're working with JavaScript on the front end, Angular. Thank God it's not Ember anymore. Uh, I
yeah, no
wish it
kidding.
was. I wish it was React.
Yeah,
But Ember.
but at least
Ember.
it's not
Ember's.
Angular. I mean, not
Yeah.
Ember.
Yes. Yeah. So on the back end, same thing as you. C Sharp, SQL Server. For the cloud, we work with Azure. Yep. So it's very similar to you, Lee.
It's just so easy to get a job in it, you know. I've been stuck in it for years just because C# jobs are a dime a dozen.
Yeah. We have another question from our man Bismarck.
Bismarck, yeah. We are about to start trying to make a profit on Robby. Um, Still working on it, and no, it's not just for fun at this point. We're actually at the point of we're about to do a beta launch, and our website is up, and we're courting incubators and stuff. We're getting pretty serious about it. I retired from my regular job, so it's not a side hustle for me anymore. This is my full-time thing. So yeah, we're planning to make a profit from him. Hadn't really thought of Robby as a him before, but but we call Antwerp a her, so I guess Robby can be a him.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say the same thing, Lee, that we're hoping that we make it into one of these incubators, and go from there.
Yeah, actually make a living off it.
Yeah.
While there's still a little runway left. That's great. I love the Microsoft stack. You know, I have a love-hate thing with the Microsoft stack. There's some things I absolutely do love about it, and I love that I've made a living off it for 30 years. But sometimes I really hate it. Sometimes I really hate Microsoft. I have to admit. There's when I'm by myself working, especially since it's been work at home for the last couple of years. I live with my brother who's downstairs, and I'm sure he hears me yelling sometimes. I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Microsoft stack too. I have to admit it.
Yeah, same with me. I think for me, I sort of started programming right at the same time when .NET was a thing. So I think I used VB6 was probably the
Right.
old. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like I remember that. I don't know if you remember, Lee, but there used to be those computer show and sell, and at least here.
Oh
in the
yeah.
Central Valley.
yeah. They'd hit the fairgrounds in the cities.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that's where I got my first computer back in '99. And I remember I had just enough money left over to buy VB6. That's when software came in a box.
VB6 was almost really good.
Yep. And then Visual Studio came out, and I don't know if you remember, but Microsoft used to do those big launches.
Oh yeah.
Where so in San Francisco, I remember that all I had to do was just sign up in time, and they invited me to the launch, and they gave me a copy of Visual Studio and SQL Server, and
Yeah.
I think I got Windows Vista out of it once.
Did you ever go to VBits?
No, I did
You
not.
remember VBits?
No.
VBits was mostly from the 90s. I think it kind of, the internet kind of killed VBits. It was a Microsoft oriented show. It was all about Visual Studio mostly at that part. They didn't even call it was Visual Basic at that point. But it was really good. You'd go and you'd have these speakers that really, really smart people doing really interesting stuff with Microsoft, with Visual Basic mostly at that point, because that was before C#.
Okay. Yeah. So then, kind of going back to the story. So around that time, I remember MSDN. And then soon after that, they started creating content for the web. And then I think I think it's still around, called Channel 9. I think you just search it on Google, it's going to pop up. And it's very similar to what you're saying. You have Microsoft evangelists talking about their, their tech and the stuff that's coming out, and they make like different shows. I remember like when Azure, started to become a thing, they had this show called Azure Fridays, where every Friday they would come out with a new episode, and they would tell you about a new feature on Azure and how to use it. And I remember I was hooked on those things. That's pretty much how I got into Azure, right at the beginning.
How do you keep up with learning Angular and .NET at the same time? You gotta wanna. What I mean by that. For me, I have to have something I want to write, and if it's not something for work, then I make up something. But you have to just get out there and do them together. They're really, to learn any of these new things, once you've learned the first half dozen of them, learning the next one's not very hard because they're all kind of the same. So really, you'll get to a point, if you stick with it, you'll get to a point where you're learning how to make this new thing do the stuff you're doing with the old thing. And it gets to where it's not that hard, I think. Does that hold true for you, Francisco?
Yeah. Excuse me. So for me, it's more, you have to learn one of the things first. I don't think you can do both at the same time. I think you have to be okay at one of them, because if you're just coming to like, okay, so now I have a front end, and then to be able to, to talk to the back end, I also have to know something there. So I think if you have one of those down, either the back end .NET or the front end, and you're kind of learning one thing at a time, it's easier than trying to learn both at the same time. That's always kind of the way I see things. Like, you got to be, even if you want to be a full stack, you have to start with one end first, be okay or good enough at one, and then you jump onto the next side, I guess, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think I'm kind of jaded because I've been in .NET for so long that it doesn't even occur to me to need to go learn .NET or learn C#. So I think, yeah, I think what you're saying is a good point. You want to get one down. I would probably start with the back end, but that's only because that's how I lean. Actually, you could argue for Angular being better to learn. Let's see, I had to migrate from Linux to Windows when I started my work as developing front end. I'm learning C# at request of the company. Well, I think that's a good thing, Bismarck. Even if you continue to do Linux, I think it's good to know Windows and understand it and developing with it.
Well, I think you share some of our feelings.
Well, yeah, like I said, I can relate. Microsoft ticks me off every so often.
Look, we have someone new in the audience. Go versus Ruby.
Go, I heard about that. Is that's a front end language? Is that what that is? Do you know about Go?
It does back end as well. Well, a lot of people call it Golang. I think, in my opinion, I tried to learn Ruby on Rails at one point, and I hated it. So, and, and then I also understand that it's very slow when you put it on a server. So I heard the opposite of Go, where it's very performant. So I would say Go.
Is it a
I did
JavaScript based thing, or
no? I think it's a language that Google came out with. I think it's backed by Google. If I'm wrong, people in the chat, let me know.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll let you know.
Yeah, but I did a small tutorial when I used to go to those meetups downtown, and it seemed pretty cool. But at that time, I was just focused on getting a product out for the startup, and I didn't really have time to look too much into it. Okay, so someone confirmed that. Yes, it is.
It is Google. Okay.
Okay.
Good for you. You
Yes.
didn't make us look bad. Tried to learn Ruby and then PHP. Came to the conclusion that you have to be a masochist. Yeah, I never caught the PHP bug. I barely have seen it even.
You know what it reminded me of, Lee? Was back then when you had to put stuff in the CGI bin and you had to learn Perl to do that?
Right. Oh, God.
That's what it reminded me of. It's like, this is
giant step backwards.
Yep.
Sorry, all you Ruby programmers out there. I don't mean to be bad-mouthing your language.
But yeah, that's kind of how I felt. It's like, why am I learning this? You can do this in a better way.
There's got to be a better way.
Yes. Well, Lee, we got up to 5 concurrent viewers this time. That's a record
on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all. I
Yeah.
promise we'll make it more interesting as we go.
I wonder if we got any new subscribers. Let's see.
Yeah, that's big KPI for us.
Yeah.
I've been all about KPIs in the last week.
Yeah, that startup school, huh?
Yeah, startup school. You got to update them weekly with your KPIs.
Yeah. Well, we got 2. We're at 15 subscribers, Lee.
All right. Man, we're going viral.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the Audi dealership and pick up that S7 I've been looking at.
That's right, man.
Yeah, this is great though. I know that small steps, right? Baby steps.
Yeah,
making this happen. So.
Well, I think once we start really showing the things we're actually doing here, I think it might actually be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Wow, my camera went crazy. And suddenly, I'm white, but I'm not that white. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess it thinks there's not enough light or something. Probably because there's not enough light or something. I could turn on my Dasney light here. Well, that's not much better. That's weird. Okay. Well, now. Yes, I'm sorry. I just died and I've gone ethereal here. My soul is leaving my body slowly. Weird.
There you go. That's better.
There we go.
All right, Leo. I think we should call it. We've been at it for an hour. Wow.
Wow. Look at that. Hour. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay.
Yeah. So I think.
All right.
So Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific. And you know what I'll do? I'll schedule it right now. And so that way, whoever, decided to subscribe can, get a notification and they can put a reminder, to join us on Saturday morning.
And we'll at least get Robby on the screen on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll do a screen share and at least kind of show it working and doing a couple of things.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe what I'll do, I'll let you host that one, Lee.
No.
No.
We'll talk about it. I don't know if I'm ready for hosting.
All right. I'll drive, Lee. I'll figure out how we can share.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Maybe we have a separate camera to do the the capture of the robot, or I think we know how to do screen sharing. But if you want to get a picture of the robot, we'll figure that out. Because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you can go in with 2 cameras, and you can decide which one you want to show.
Well, and what I can do when I screen share, if I use the depth camera, then that will be on the screen that I'm screen
Okay.
sharing with.
Okay.
So I can use that. We can
All
make that
right.
work. All right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining, and we'll
Yes,
catch you.
thank you all.
Show up on Saturday. We'll talk to you then.
All right.
All right.
See you,
Have a
Francisco.
good night.
Good
See
night,
ya.
everybody.
Good night.